You know, at Tempo Air and US-EcoLogic, we're more than just contracting, we're energy efficiency nationwide. We're going to find more about that next. So we started today's conversation about energy efficiency and what Tempo Air and US-EcoLogic does with this on a national scale. I've got one of the best people to talk about that with me today, Vice President of US-EcoLogic, Eric Johnson. Eric, really appreciate you being here. Eric is also on our board of directors, so again, wealth of knowledge. Eric, thanks so much for being here.
Love the opportunity, absolutely. I'll talk about my division anytime, anywhere.
So let's roll right into it then. So tell me a little bit about what your group does, and not specifically in contracting, but what we do for energy efficiency.
So we are really the first ones on a job site and one of the last ones off a job site. That's kind of the best way to describe that workflow. So it's the inspection process, it's an energy modeling process, it's a certification process, and we do that not just in Dallas-Fort Worth, but we have done work and do work in 45 states.
Wow.
We have offices in California, in Denver, in Phoenix, throughout Texas obviously, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, plus also in Tampa, in Florida, Atlanta, in Georgia, and Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big, so you said a lot there, and really what I completely respect is being able to manage that from kind of a remote opportunity. And if anything that we've learned in the last few years, really due to the virus that went back in 2020, it's being a better manager for remote work. Yet we've been doing that for a long time. So it kind of really helped your group to kind of shine.
Yeah, almost 20
where
years.
Others were suffering.
Almost 20 years. And the reality is, you know, almost 50% of my team is not in Dallas.
Right.
So for us to get through the pandemic, really was about, in Dallas, grabbing a chair and a monitor and going home. We didn't operate any differently. So our platform, by design, was organic enough to work wherever you are.
Right.
And our other offices, sometimes it's a kitchen table and sometimes it's an actual physical office.
Right.
So if we had the KPIs in place and the processes in place, and the ability to deliver what we've sold to our clients, regardless of where we were physically.
So you mentioned in the very intro your actual work that you do. You said you're first inside of a house and last inside of a house, and you guys do single family and multifamily rating for new construction. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about what that means and what that process looks like.
Yeah, on a bare minimum level, it's energy code compliance.
Okay.
Every state, for the most part, there are 7 that don't. There's some sort of state energy code that must be met for any sort of building, whether that's commercial or residential.
Right.
And we, at a bare minimum level, that's what we do.
Right.
But then above that, there's above code certifications you can get, from Energy Star to Lead for Homes to National Green Building Standard and up. The higher the certification, the more difficult it is to achieve that.
Right.
But then the more durable, more energy efficient that structure is going to be. But we deliver all of those aspects, absolutely.
Outstanding. So being able to do that really fluidly across the nation is challenging for sure. And I think that how you're able to do that is with the team we've got, the people we've got.
Absolutely. It all starts with that. Just the Lead for Homes perspective, to give you some sort of scope on that. We are the world's largest Lead for Homes provider by far. We've done over 13,000 projects that are LEED certified or greater. I think my next closest competitor has maybe done about 800.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
So
not even close.
Significantly higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you mention Energy Star and things like that, you know, and I know these aren't uncommon for our group to get, and it's only because we're so good at what we do. You know, your partner of the year for Energy Star. It shows here from 22 all the way to 24, but I know we've been there longer than that.
I think it goes back to really 2010 almost, or before that really. Being a Gen Xer, merit badges are not important to me personally, right?
Sure.
But certainly to my team and to the division, they deserve that. And we have lots, to your point, lots and lots of merit badges that we have earned.
Yeah.
Sometimes, quite frankly, we apply to it and then we'll win because of the quality of work that we do. And that's all of our people, absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about what the client actually gets. What are you actually delivering for them? Whether that be a builder, really.
Sure. That's really a key component to our business model in that we don't choose what shade of green our clients are. They tell us what they want to do, and then we tell them what's possible, or more importantly, what's not possible. And then our delivery, it's an odd business model at some aspects. At some level, we are hired to slow down or even stop a construction process because a certain code requirement is not being met, right? And since there are code requirements in some aspects by law, we have to be there. For them to get their CO at the end of the day to close on that property. But that process is energy modeling, which is looking at a structure not just from a single component standpoint, but all the components that make up that structure and how that building will operate. Not unlike comparing them to a human being, right? And then there's the actual inspection process, which is going out and verifying that you said you were going to do these things. Did you actually do them, yes or no? Then there's the confirmation and the certification process, which is that now the building is complete, it's met all the criteria, here's the certification that you've earned for that property.
Yeah. With the building envelope itself changing, I would say dramatically.
Yes.
In the last, let's say 10 years, really it's 20 years, but the reality of it is it's going to continue to change. It's going to continue to improve. They're going to continue to push the envelope in making these homes and or let's say whether that be residential multifamily or residential single family, we're going to continue to push these homes to be more energy efficient. Energy costs aren't going down. They're going to continue to go up. We know this.
Yeah, the plan that was put in place on a federal level over 20 years ago was to get all new homes that are constructed by 2030 to a net zero status, which means all the energy that they use, they also then generate. And that's where all the energy codes and construction codes are driving things towards. And the underlying thing to that was not a political agenda. It was really about using the existing energy that we had more efficiently.
Right.
And that's what these things have done. And you can see that in a new constructed house, and being from the server side, HVAC, you'll certainly recognize that a house built in 1980, of their electric costs, probably 55-60% is HVAC related.
Correct.
And now it's closer to 40%. And that 20% savings is not only in terms of energy usage, but that's operating cost to the homeowner or to the apartment renter, whoever it is, right? That's money you can allocate for other things.
Right.
Right.
Well, you mentioned that what you can spend your money on, and really, having this home being able to set the standard for controlling our energy costs. It's one of the biggest costs we have is what our home can generate. Knowing that we're going to be looking at not getting more fossil fuel burning power plants. We're not building any more of those, and at least I know in our state we're not building any more of those. But that's something that we have to be mindful of.
Well, that goes back to that 20-year agenda of it's cost prohibitive to put new nuclear on or fossil fuel burning. There's a building science idea that wind is sexy but solar is efficient. Right. And certainly you can see that in states even like Texas and Iowa that have huge amounts of wind production. It has offset that grid usage, and while we've made great strides in our efficiencies, our usage has gone up too.
Right.
Think of the things that you plug in now that you didn't 20-25 years ago.
No, 100%. Well, your automobile for that matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot more of those coming with seeing what the auto manufacturers are trying to do in the next several years. Is trying to get to, like a 70% of their market is going to be electric.
Yeah, and then there's the public demand. They're just fun to drive.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Absolutely, that's part of it too. Then that energy efficiency is sometimes it's hard to translate though, right?
Right.
When you buy a new house or you move into a new apartment, you expect that it's energy efficient, but you really don't know what that means, right? For apartment renters, oftentimes their utility bills are astronomical in comparison to their rent.
Yeah.
Much higher than a single family house. And so when you have a LEED certified apartment complex, that operation cost, that durability, and that's really what energy efficiency can also lead to, which is the durability side of it. In other words, that it stays newer longer.
Right.
And then another tertiary side of energy efficiency is water usage and consumption. We pay a lot of money for water. Water is the new oil. Even in Texas, water is the new oil, right? From a municipality standpoint, outside of their health care and benefits to their employees, a city's second largest expense is the expense to pump water.
Yeah.
It's just costs a lot of money, and so even water efficiencies are coming into play with energy efficiency and ultimately construction codes as well.
Well, we didn't say this at the very beginning, but changing the landscape of energy efficiency is really what US-EcoLogic does, or at least helps their customers and really the end user navigate that landscape.
That's what really makes us a different beast within my particular industry, in that there are several other companies, lots of other companies that do inspections and energy modeling. But we actually get into the weeds in that we work with the EPA and the Department of Energy and lots of other subcategories to actually write code, write the way energy efficiency is explained and enforced across the country. So we get way into the weeds with that stuff. But that's just a true testament to the really intelligent people that work at US-EcoLogic.
Well, it's outstanding what our group has done. I know that you've been a part of this organization, it feels like, for a little over 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I know we've been doing it longer than 10 years, but I think it's how you help communicate to our field team, and how you help move our culture forward is what makes us different.
Yeah,
and that's something that you and your leadership team really help.
Yeah, the team at US-EcoLogic is second to none. There's not a conference room in this country, let alone this world, that I wouldn't walk into and expect us to just completely dominate it.
Yeah. Well, Eric, I know we can get a lot more into this and hope to really have you back to maybe drill into a few of these points, or maybe even something different.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk about maybe more culture one day.
Absolutely.
So can't thank you enough for joining the program today. I really want to make sure that if you like this program, please like it. Please share it, and then add any comments you can to it as well. We want to get better. We want to bring information to you that you want to hear and see. This has been a really fun season for us this year.
Good.
And next year is going to be even, or I say next year, the next season will be even better. We're going to drill a little deeper into our organization as well, and keep giving you hard and great stuff. So thank you guys for joining us. Eric, thank you again.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Guys, we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you for choosing Tempo Air. My name is Jasmine. How can we make your home more comfortable today?